Welcome to game number 6 of the Sultans Smackdown. This is the brand new DLC for the Age of Empires 4. Beastie Cutie is going to be playing as the Japanese here. Just in the last series, Puppypaw just pulled ahead here 3-2 in this play all 7. And Beastie's not going to let him get away with that one. Puppypaw on the other side playing as the Order of the Dragon. Now, when Beastie played Order of the Dragon, he lost earlier today. Let's see if Puppypaw is able to pull out something here at the end. Crackety, what do you think about this matchup?
This matchup is interesting, especially since we're on a hybrid map. Look at all of these ponds. Can we also talk about the water? Like the water just looks absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Little spinning. Oh,
really,
man.
really nice. We're in the Savannah biome here, so that's also one of the new biomes in Age of Empires 4 with the new Sultan DLC.
Oh man, look at it. It's beautiful. Yeah, you guys make sure you upturn your graphics all the way up so you can appreciate this water. They've got some really crystal clear water for a pond. I'll say that's not your typical dried up river. Usually like a dried up river is like muddy or something, but like this is crystal clear water.
That looks really, really good. We can see on this hybrid map, like the Japanese, they get some really awesome bonuses there on water. Their fishing boats only cost 45 wood compared to 75 for other civilizations. That means a lot early on because you save so much wood. It means that you can get a really, really fast fuel agent because you don't need as many villagers chopping wood to be able to constantly produce fishing ships. It's even I would argue it's a better bonus than the Ayubids or the Abbasid get for their fishing economy. They have to pay 75 wood for a dock, but you save so much more wood on these fishing boats for every single dock that you got.
Now, I see that BC has a lot of villagers on wood. Do you think he's going to go for a second dock here early on, or is that just what do you need here for this? Because he has, it looks like
I think he's going to dock every single pond.
In the Dark Age?
Overall, I think like he's just gonna keep building it on and on and on.
Yeah, by the way, guys,
gonna go to like 5-6 fishing ships on every pond and then build another dock somewhere else.
Yeah, this map is Rocky River, and every map played today's show match is going to be on the ranked ladder for the next season. So a lot of times you see maps that maybe are custom and not usually what you're going to see on the ranked ladder. These are all maps, if you enjoy them, you're going to see them on the ranked ladder. Of course, you'll have your option of some bans. There are a few others as well. These are the ones I want to highlight. We're going to end today, of course. Game 7 will be Dry Arabia, because you can't have a show match worth its weight in salt without Dry Arabia.
Exactly. Dry Arabia. Good old faithful.
Best Arabia.
And we're going to be seeing the Minework Palace now coming up here for Puppypaw. He's only building it with a single villager, and he's sending 2 villagers out right now. It's like they're going towards the middle. Might be contesting the water now.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. It's going to be fighting up on this water very early on here.
Outpost.
Okay, yeah, to kill the fishing boats. I like it.
Yeah, he's just going to be building outposts there. That makes a lot of sense. Like these ponds, they're very, very small. One outpost is going to completely range all the shoreline fish here.
Yeah, look at all the fish too are very close to the outpost as well. So
I think he could place it 1 tile further away. That way demo ships can't do any damage to it at all, to the outpost, and he's still going to be in range for all.
That's true. That's true.
Trollfish there.
Okay, so the Order of the Dragon, guys, if you're not familiar, it's the HRE, the Holy Roman Empire variant civilization, so it plays very similar, but there's a lot of differences. Basically, all of their units are kind of better versions of their HRE self, but of course some tax and balance has changed, so it's not just straight up a better civ before you go thinking that. But first thing you'll notice, there's no prelate. Where's the prelate? At least not in the town center. Their villagers are just more efficient. They cost more resources, 60 resource food, and they're just stronger villagers. They've got that 40% more carry, 40% more resources, and they do everything better. Like look at that. We've got just 2 villagers building that landmark because they're, that's more than just 1 vill.
Yeah, building a lot faster, gathering faster, carrying more. These villagers do it all, but they do cost more and it takes longer to produce them as well.
Yeah.
24 seconds for every villager compared to usual 20 seconds.
Yep, and meanwhile...
They make up for quality, though.
The Japanese, of course, brand new civ. We talked about it earlier, but we'll cover some of it again. We do see actually PC just now aging up with the Coca Township. This is the landmark that produces those Shinobi. So he'll be going for raids with those Shinobi, and we'll talk more about them here in a moment. But some other unique things you want to know about Japan. They have farmhouses. They don't have a mill. They have a farmhouse. It's a house and a mill. Another thing you'll notice there, they don't wheelbarrow in their farmhouse. They've got basically this kind of wheelbarrow tech that you can get 3 times. So you've got kind of tiers of it. You can see the bonuses there. You see the towers firing in the middle. And then they've got their forge. It's like a blacksmith and a mine all in one. And it only costs, your typical 50 wood. So you can see some text, and there's also a unique one for melee damage. You can get this up to 4 times in a match. So you'll get this multiple times throughout the game. And then when you look at the town center, you've got the upgrades for the Daimyo Manor. So you get your food upgrades. You see this aura around the town center. You build your farms out around this. You upgrade this, and you get additional farming upgrades. It also kind of turns into a keep center. You don't have keeps until the Imperial Age, but you make up for that by having these awesome upgrades at your town center. So those are a lot of the early game differences. Of course, the fishing we talked about as well for the Japanese. A lot to explore there.
A lot of very, very unique mechanics. Now the Coca Township, we're going to be getting that Shinobi. First one is going to be free. And look at that. BC immediately queues 2 more. Now these units, they do have a lot of melee damage, a lot of melee attack.
So much.
Puppypaw goes for archers. Like the archers from the Order of the Dragon, they have some insane attack speed. If you go for those, you could very, very easily deal with them.
And you really...
The outposts in the middle, it's going to take care of these fishing ships.
You really do need archers to deal with these bad boys because, well, I guess he has man-arms, he is the Order Dragon, but they are very good. I've tried sending regular horsemen up against them thinking like, oh, they don't have armor, they don't look like they should be that tough, and they beat horsemen. They're very, very strong. Good rating. They can blink in and out here with their shunshin, and then they can also sabotage a building to stop it from training, which when you've got slow training units like the HRE, or use it up against a Burgrave, very effective. Or you can use Spy to turn into a villager, and we'll see if he uses it. I don't think we'll see it here at the beginning, but he can sneak up and get a little attack.
Look at that, BC got a dock now in every single pond. Gets a lot of fishing ship out. We're currently at 36 compared to 22 eco. Behind that though, Puppypaw, he's getting ready to age up. What's it gonna be? Is it gonna be a Burgrave Palace? The Burgrave Palace for the Order Dragon works a little bit differently. You get your units out for 30% cheaper and 30% faster, rather than just 400% faster. And there it is, Burgrave Palace is going to be coming up. We also see Puppypaw.
He's hiding.
We see BC. He's disguising his Shinobi right now. And look at that, Shinobi. They get the sabotage ability. If they sabotage the Burgrave Palace, no units will be created.
That's I was just talking about earlier. Like, it's so freaking good using Burgrave because like. The whole point of this landmark is to really quickly produce some units, and you can sabotage it and just shut it down and can't make anything, and then you just fall behind on the field.
It's like Beastie isn't going for that though. The TC is able to detect Shinobis if they disguise themselves, and if they get they get taken down really, really quickly if you put your villagers inside the TC.
Look at the wall around the relic. I guess you can build these even easier now.
The snapping can be a little bit weird at times. What's really cool is the way that you can wall in resource. In theory, like you can place some very annoying walls on gold mines. Like you can send a villager and like wall in the gold from your opponent.
This looks like an Age of Noob thumbnail. I'm looking at this. I'm like, yeah, looks familiar. There we go.
Scout gets trapped.
Yep, there you go. Blinking around there, Shinobi, using that magic. Okay, so Burgrave is up. Puppypaw is in the Castle Age, and there we go, our very first Gilded Man-at-Arms. So we talked about their villager, but all of their military units, they just slapped Gilded on the front of the name, and they're the elite. They're the best of the best. They don't just let anyone into the military, and they're very, very tough units. You can see all of the HP, you can see the stats on these, but it comes with a cost. We're used to the HRE having, those speed upgrades, the marching drills. You don't have that here, so they're floating across the field. What? Hello?
No, now he's small normally. Okay.
Man, oh man, they paid for hoverboards technology.
They got some serious style. Suddenly 4 random HRE villagers appear.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Some villagers.
Oh, these are your villagers. Oh, why didn't they get line of sight? I don't know. It's design.
You notice them pretty quickly when it's like spread. Like it's when you have like late stages of the game and lots of farms that's hard to pick these guys out. But like right now, you just see villagers. You're like, yeah, those are ninjas.
Yeah, Gilded Men-at-Arms at the moment out on the field, but the Shinobi should actually be able to do quick work with those, with the 20 melee damage. And there we go. Shinobi are walking on top of that Man-at-Arm.
They're gonna get him.
Let's check out damage.
No, they're just villagers. Surprise! Okay.
It's a lot of damage.
Shinobi coming out. Yep. And you know, these things do a lot of melee damage. You look at them, they do 25 melee damage. That's why 2 of them, boom, villager dead, right? If you don't have textiles, it will do a lot of damage against that man-at-arms, and he just runs away. He is able to stay safe under that tower because they don't have any ranged armor. So I guess +1, but ooh,
villager gets taken down with that.
They're angry.
Puppypaw should be getting access to a relic there rather soon.
He's trying to get in there. Let's just siege that down. It'll take a little bit there. Okay, BC has reached the castle age, and he has built the floating gate. And there's a floating gate. Now, if we were to do a tier list of water, you've got the floating gate water, and then you've got, oh gosh, the dried up river in the middle of the map. I mean, this is like, what tier would you put the floating gate's water in?
Ooh, I don't know. The floating gate water kind of reminds. It's not moving.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it is stale. Like there shouldn't be any movement on the water, but it kind of reminds me of like the water from Warcraft 3 from the Night Elves from their like mana fountains.
Yeah. Well,
it's the same level of graphics on that water specifically.
Shinobi squaring off with the Gilded Man-at-Arms. Meanwhile, they're going to run around the field. Let's talk about that floating gate. So that floating gate, it spawns the Shinto priest and Yoshiro. And you grab these Yoshiro, they kind of are like relics in a way, and you put them inside of buildings, and they give you different buffs depending on the building you put it in. Where did he put the first Yoshiro? Do you see it?
I'm looking
here, he put it in the forge. He put it in the forge. So he's generating gold from the forge.
The other one is in the TC.
Yeah,
so the TC also gets some increased production speed as well.
I really like that move. So you can either use it for production speed or use it for resource trickle. And of course, yeah, you can put it in TC. Now you can't stack them. You can't put 2 of them in the TC or anything like that. But yeah, that Yoshiro will over time spawn, and he can put those in buildings. So Puppypaw kind of running around right now very slowly, as you know, usually you're used to seeing Burgrave and then units like spamming across the map. Like, it's hard to do that with the Ore of the Dragon. They're so slow. And he's been able to use these Shinobi to kill. Has he killed multiple prelates?
He's killed 2 prelates so far with these Shinobi.
Oh, and that really hurts because, oh, okay, he did get a monastery to train them at. I would say you don't just get them, you know, you don't have a free one, or even you had to train those. But I think he's trained them at the monastery. Here's another one about to go down in the middle.
Oh no, not the wall low. He could have gotten away.
Maybe.
I think, I'm not sure if it's possible, but I think you can get the ram out and then put the monk with the relic inside of the ram.
There you go. I love it. Yes, absolutely. Now we see a new unit here in the middle of the field, the Onna-musha.
That's a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them too. So it says light range cavalry, but don't be fooled. These are basically the crossbows of the civilization. Now I know they aren't crossbows. They got bow and arrows, but they're effective against heavy units. So, I mean, talk about having a very mobile, basically crossbow against a very slow man-armed civilization. It's a very good unit to be spamming here, and you can see they're doing a lot of damage to his Gilded Man-at-Arms, and that's not just like one man-at-arms. These are like, each one of these is kind of the value of multiple men-at-arms.
Yeah, Puppypaw definitely needs some archers against that. He is making them right now. Behind all of this, though, Beastie, he just has that superior economy going for himself right now. He is on water still on some of these ponds, and looks like that ram is now going to be able to take down one of these dogs. Might even be able to take down the other dog. Something that's interesting, if you look at Beastie's base, he's done something that he tends to call... Like, okay, never mind. Not just him. Like, all of us tend to call out when we see the Spanish brothers play HRE. He's trying to see how many buildings he can fit inside of the range of the TC where he would want to place farms for the bonus there.
Yeah. So no farming gonna happen under there, that's for sure. You don't need to. You know much food he's got out on the map in those ponds?
Not a lot left if these outposts keep crawling in.
Yeah, okay, Puppypaw kind of feels like he's struggling, and yeah, I don't know. Even from what I've seen in a few of these matches, the Ore of the Dragon, I usually find it just doesn't have the speed or the tempo. You have these super strong units, but like it doesn't matter when there's a mounted anti-heavy unit on the field. There's a classic Beastie Wololo just to get us all to look at me. There you go, puts it inside.
I saw villagers on the berries. They're getting found out now. There's an outpost, but it could only protect so many. And these are very, very heavy losses. These villagers, they're worth a lot more than normal villagers.
2 go down. 3 go down. Yikes. Not good. Yeah, this is not looking good for Puppypaw. Oh man. I've got this sneaking suspicion we're going to have a like tie match going into the last game of the series.
Behind all of this, though, BC is also grabbing all of the relics. He's gotten 3 + 1, 4 relics now.
2 Shinto shrines.
And Puppypaw was the one that went up to Fast Castle here. I feel like this really just goes into play. Like, you kind of need to go onto water on these kind of hybrid maps. Like, you can't ignore it. You can maybe go for a second TC kind of play, but you can't just flat out ignore it.
Yeah. Well, his play was the outpost, it seemed, but I don't think he had enough of them. Well, I mean, he did have 2 of them, but it just seemed like it didn't do enough. And here comes BC right now through the back of the base. Puppypaw could get raided on that wood line. Let's see if he grabs a few villagers there. Not looking very good for Puppy right now. Of course, the villager graph, he's lost, quite a few, but it doesn't exactly reflect very well when you think about the fact that they've got more efficient villagers. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the top of your screen there.
Yeah. Onna-musha still running around.
Okay, BC just shredding. Those are gilded archers, so they're good archers, and that archers are a good choice against these Onna-musha. They don't have a lot of ranged armor, but he loses them. It looks like he's continuing to train up those archers. Yeah, I wonder if he got a few of these out a little earlier, because now they're in a pretty high count. But yeah, look how strong they are, and they have additional range as well. Look at that; they're able to really kind of like
additional range, and they have +5 ranged armor.
Yeah,
they get an upgrade which gives them +3 ranged armor. They're a really good unit against archers or crossbowmen with that.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, we see BC in the middle right now with this Bannerman, and we haven't talked about the Bannerman yet today, but basically with each of your buildings, like your stable, your barracks, or whatever, you can get Bannerman, but we don't have time to talk about today. It looks like Puppypaw says that's enough. Beastie Cutie is going to tie up this series with the Japanese victory, and that will take us to game number 7 of the Sultan Smackdown. It's going to be a free pick. They're going to pick one of their favorite DLC civs, and stay tuned to see what that will be.